We have our East Flatbush Community Partnership updates. We have a presentation from Vanessa Barrell Warner. I hope I said your name correctly. And Vanessa is from the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. We are going to share an update regarding the East Flatbush Community Partnership website. You all are going to share some program updates, and then we're going to end our meeting with program updates and next steps. So Cindy, take it away.
Hello, everyone. This is Cindy Reed, the East Flatbush Community Partnership. I'm going to be doing the updates. We'd like to encourage you all to join our weekly newsletter. And if you have any flyers, any events going on, please share them with me by sending it to my email, which is reidc@jccany.org on the screen. And if you want to be one of the presenters for the monthly meeting, we have a Google form for you to sign up for that. And we're going to put that link in the chat for you to sign up for that as well. We have a new role offering to the community called the Community Resident Liaison. We would like you to share this with your network. Maybe there's someone in the community that you know of that'll be interested in this position. So just to share some of the benefits, we would want them to reside in the community, such as the 11203, the 11210, the 11210 and 11212 and 11226 zip codes. We require them to attend monthly and in-person meetings. We would prefer them to speak Creole or Spanish, and there's no education requirement for this position. And the benefits would be a $250 stipend every 3 months. MetroCards will be provided, opportunity to develop their leadership skills and gain experience with the community coalition and strengthen activities, and also strengthen their social capital with connections with the different providers that we're connected to.
Thank you, Cindy. Oh, you're doing past events too, I'm sorry.
Okay, we had our open door last month. I'm sorry, I can't remember how we had Vanessa as the speaker. She's here. just drew a blank. But this is a meeting for residents to join and connect with and receive different information and bring information. So we encourage you to share this also with your network. It happens on the second Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. and we give a gift card at the end. Heard at Home last month was held at the Brooklyn Rugby Branch Library, and we continue this initiative. We are having it for coming up were we going to do the upcoming months too?
Yes, Kaya's going to do that.
I'm sorry. Okay, so this was held last month in January. It was a great meeting where residents were able to learn about the district, not the district, but I'm drawing a blank, Lamecca. Do you remember?
Yes, it was the redistricting of the assembly lines.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what they learned on that day, and it was a great event, and the residents really enjoyed the information. And then we also did an education forum in partnership with the Jamaica Community Partnership. This is a meeting that happens monthly as well. I don't remember what the topics was, but I think it's on the flyer. No, it's not. I think it was on bullying and absentee, right, Lamecca? So, but yeah, it's held each month. Go on.
Yeah, that was for January. This one is showing what happened in February, this past month.
Oh, okay. So is the topic on it? Oh, it's mental health and safety. Sorry, yes. I'm just seeing it. Okay, so for February, the topic was mental health and safety, and they have this meeting monthly as well with DOE.
Thank you, Cindy. Kai?
This Saturday on February 25th from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. we'll be hosting our monthly Heard at Home community conversation. It will focus on housing and knowing your rights. Seats are limited and breakfast will be served. There will also be a legal aid, and a housing ambassador on site to answer any questions that you may have. On February 28th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., we will virtually host our Small Business Development Workshop from City. Thank you.
Thank you, Kai. Diane?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I am Diane Smith. I'm a community ambassador with this East Flatbush Community Partnership. And I'm encouraging you to please share your information in the chat so that we all know who's here. We just would like to know your name, your email address, and let us know whether you are a resident or a provider on the chat. Thank you. And it's my pleasure to present to you our presenter for this afternoon, Vanessa Burrell Warner. She is a physician liaison outreach and training specialist with the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Ms. Burrell Warner, the mic is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vanessa. Well, I got that introduction already, and you got that introduction. I haven't changed. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And today I'm going to talk to you about the early intervention program. For some people, it might be an updated information they're receiving, and for others, it might be new information. And Cindy is going to help me today with a video that I'm going to share. Cindy, you okay with that, right? Did you get the video?
I got the video.
Okay,
I'm
great.
prepared.
All right. So I'm going to come off camera for a bit and go straight into the presentation. Am I going to be allowed to share right now? Yeah. Okay, I see that host is disabled participation.
I will give you the ability to share your screen. One
Yes.
moment. Okay. Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah, I see the prompt and I'm trying to share right now. Okay. All right. Okay, everyone see my screen?
Yes, it looks great.
Okay, great. Somebody wants somebody admitted. Should I admit them?
No, we'll take care of that. You can focus
Okay.
on your presentation.
All right, great. Thank you. I'm so accustomed to doing an all-man show sometimes. All right, so let me just stop this. Okay, so I want to again say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to meet with everyone today to talk about the New York City early intervention program. And to address any questions or concerns that you may have, and to really support the East Flatbush Partnership to provide services for families with infants and toddlers who may have any suspected or known developmental delays. So today's presentation, the objective is really to talk about the purpose of EI, or the Early Intervention Program, to let you know more about the program process and to provide you with resources that are available for providers and for families. Trying to engage here. All right. Okay, so before we get into the presentation, we just want to give you an overview of the early intervention program to let you know what that looks like. So we're going to start with a video. So sit tight, and if you have any questions or any comments after the video, you can feel free to unmute your mic and share, and then we'll continue. Thank you, Cindy. Okay, we don't have volume here.
Identified.
Could you go back 1 second? Yes,
Early
thank you.
intervention program is
Thank
a
you.
program for children with identified developmental delays. Services are delivered to this child and family to be sure that this child will achieve his or her developmental potential. My
Andrew and Yadiel were born premature. They're called micro-preemies. I think Andrew was 1.5 pounds, and so was Yadiel. And when they were discharged home, they automatically qualified for services under early intervention because of low birth weight. Andrew was diagnosed with cerebral palsy by a neurologist who examined him and found that the muscle tone of his legs was increased. So he has stiff legs. When I took Andrew's case, Yadiel was already walking, and mommy's biggest concern was that he walked. She wanted him to walk.
The family, our staff, and the interventionists that work with the child identify the natural routines that happen in the course of the child's day. And they look at activities that will help the child develop better.
El gato, meow, meow, meow.
Children learn during natural routines in repetitions with their caregivers. With this approach, I embed myself to a natural routine. And the results have been incredible.
Enséñale las manos, enséñale tus manos así. Y le caché. 1, 2, 3.
That was fabulous. And that's new. She just taught him that. They never done that before.
Embedded coaching is considered the standard of care at this point in time. So, of course, New York City has embraced it wholeheartedly. The beauty of the program is that the services provided to the child and the family are individualized for the child.
The most important part happens when I'm not there because children learn at different times of the day.
1, 3.
So when I leave, the parents will try the different strategies that we worked out together. And then when I come back, we review them. What works, what doesn't work, where are we? En lo de la bola, ¿cómo ha funcionado lo de las manos?
Está muy bien porque ya agarran muchas mejores cosas.
Y el consejito que yo te di de ponerle la mano así, ¿funcionó?
Sí.
Sí, tú viste cuando le enseñas la mano así, él como que te entiende más que es que coja la bola.
Sí.
Okay, good, good.
What our goal is through all of this is to empower families and give them the skills and the knowledge so that they can use the everyday routines and everyday learning opportunities to present activities to the child or engage the child in activities that will help this child develop to the best of his or her potential.
I think the biggest misconception is that embedded coaching is about coaching parents to become therapists. It's not. It's really about supporting parents to be parents. Parents are supporting a child's development throughout the day. Parents are the first and best teachers of children, and embedded coaching is about supporting them in this very important role.
Very often when parents are told that their children qualify for services, somehow the parents feel that they can no longer help the child develop. That's kind of like taken from them. And then we go back and we restore that. And if I'm just there to coach them, what happens when I leave has no limits.
¿En dónde mami?
¿Ven? ¿Dónde mami?
Vaya, ¿dónde mami?
Sale.
¡Bravo!
¿Te quieres quedar ahí o quieres echarte un poquito más para atrás?
Para atrás. Vamos atrás.
You know how many children walk to me in 32 years of practice? They should have walked to mommy. In Andrew's case, he walked to mommy. He didn't walk to me.
Before it was hard for me. Now he was able to walk by himself and play with his brother. Now they're able to do like the stuff he's not able to do before. Now he can do it. So he do very well.
I went into this profession to help. And I had learned that with my hands, I help. But I can also, help people with my voice and with my ideas. I'm impacting not just that moment. I'm impacting a lifetime. I'm impacting a family. Because the parent starts thinking, I can solve this problem. Now I get a double reward. The child makes progress and the parent feels wonderful. There's nothing better than that.
My message for the parents with the kid, with a special kid like my kids, is to get help if you need it.
We're there to support the families. We're there to provide them with information. We're there to help them in a difficult situation. It's all about delivering the best services possible to New York City children.
Okay, so what you just saw was in fact twin boys who received early intervention services in their natural environments in their homes. And of course, as you heard, they were micro-preemies. And today, these boys have grown healthily and well. They are in the football league in their schools and I mean, scoring a lot of goals, I understand. I believe they are almost, they're teenagers by now. So this is what early intervention looks like. And we're going to talk more about the early intervention program in details. Okay, so what is the early intervention program? So the early intervention program actually works with, provides evaluation, therapeutic and educational services to infants and toddlers with developmental delays or disabilities. And so there are two parts of this program. There's EI, which provides an evaluation, and then there's a second part, developmental monitoring. And developmental monitoring provides actually monitoring the children who are at risk of developing a delay. So some people may not know that early intervention is not a new program. It has been around for a long time. It's a federal funded program that has been around for 30 years or so. In 1986, Congress established EIP as part of the Individual with Disabilities Education Act, IDE Part C. And in July 1993, EIP was established in the Public Health Law, Article 25, and administered by the New York State Department of Health in New York City. So in New York City, particularly, the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene is the lead agency. So in some states, it is not the Department of Health that leads the program, the early intervention program, but it could be the Department of Education. So in New York City, Department of Health is the lead agency. So it is a robust program. So we provide services by contractors. We have over 180 provider agencies who provide service coordination, evaluation, and services. And it is administered again by the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene with approximately 220 staff. It's a robust program. We had 33,000 children who were referred to EI or Child Find for the fiscal year of 2019. And it has just been growing. Early intervention children can receive one or more EI services, and of course, those services, as you saw, we'll go into all the types of services, but you will have seen these twins receiving services from their PT, but it also includes service coordination, evaluation, and other services. So a bit about the program basics and general information. So the early intervention program really serves children from 0 to 3. It is available to all New York City families, and it's regardless of your race, your ethnicity, income, or immigration status. We do not ask immigration questions. We have no conversation with ICE. Children do not have to be a citizen to receive services, and services are provided at no out-of-pocket cost to families. However, if insurance is billed, there's no copay that is paid or restriction as to how much services a family would receive. The program is voluntary to families. That means parents can opt out at any time. It's not mandated, and it is confidential. We do not share information with anyone, not even a doctor, let's say a PCP or a pediatrician who may refer the child into EI. If they call that, if they call EI, that is the doctor calls EI to find out anything about a child without the parent's permission, all they would hear is that the child has been enrolled in the program and nothing else, because it's highly confidential. To receive New York City EI early intervention services, families must reside in the 5 boroughs. Okay, so we're talking about referral here, and we did talk about pediatricians and doctors, but for the general community, a referral can be made by anyone. However, consent must be given by the child's parents, as mentioned before, and if the parent objects to the referral, you do not make a referral. What you can do instead is to provide the parent with information such as the brochures, or ask them to call 311, or even offer them the referral form so that the parent can make the referral if they choose to do so at a later time. And we're going to talk about the referral form a little bit. And so this is the referral form. This is exactly what it looks like. This is the first step to the early intervention process. Now, the early intervention form must be completed and signed and dated by the parent or the legal guardian giving consent for services. And to access this form, we have a website on the screen. It is available at nyc.gov/health. And search, you can search for early intervention, you'll find that form. Now, this referral form is one option to make referrals into EI. So there are other options. So if you're receiving this form as a provider and would like to make a referral, you had that conversation with the family and you want to make a referral into the program, one of the things you want to do is first, here where you see an orange here, you want to know if the child is known to ACS. If the child is known to ACS, means the child has an active case, you do not use this form. Instead, what you would do is contact the child's caseworker, who would then use the citywide ACS referral hotline, 877-885-5439 to make referrals. And if the child is receiving services from an agency that is contracted by ACS, they can also use this, they are to use this referral line as well. Everyone else can use this referral form. Now, if you're using this referral form to make a referral, we want to know who you are. So you want to put your name or your agency, and you want to date the form. Now, the date of the form is very important because this is a time-bound program. We have specific times to provide different aspects of the program. For example, from the date that is placed on this form, you have 30 days to have an evaluation done and 45 days to have an ISP meeting created, and we're going to talk a bit about that in our upcoming slides. Now, as a referral source, you want to put your contact information and what type of referral source you are. So if you are a community program, you want to include that, or if you belong to, if you're a parent, you also want to include that as well, or any other. The child's information, of course, is important. We want to get the name of the child and the date of the birth date. Now, it's important that we get the right date for the child because this will determine eligibility into the program. Of course, if the child is 4 years old, the child cannot receive services for the program. If the child is even 3 or thereafter, they cannot receive services, they will not be eligible. Again, this program is from 0 to 3. Now, race and ethnicity are two very important fields as well. These are mandated fields. We cannot leave this field out. If you as a provider, you are helping a family fill this form out, they need to indicate a race and ethnicity. Whatever they indicate, that's what you put. It cannot be left out because it will really affect the referral moving forward. The borough in which a child resides is important, and the dominant language, because of course there are so much languages in New York City, and we want to make sure that services are provided in the language so that we can best communicate with the family to meet the child's needs. The family contact information is included. That's the mother's name, father's name, or the alternative caregiver. And of course, the date of birth of each and the dominant language, and if they're proficient in English, yes or no. and the address of the family members, of course, and contact information. But more importantly, the reasons for referral must be included. Now, you can make a referral as a provider for either one or two parts of the program, one or the other. It cannot be two, you select one. So if you make a referral for early intervention, that is for a child with a suspected or known developmental delay or disability, and you will indicate by a tick or an X. Or if you're referring the child for a child that is a child for developmental monitoring, that is for a child who is very typical, it seems, in development, but may have missed or failed a newborn hearing screen and may have been experiencing other at-risk factors, and that child will receive developmental monitoring and will receive screening. So for early intervention, the child will receive an evaluation, and for developmental monitoring, the child would receive screening. Now, there are some numbers on this fax. These are fax numbers. These are fax numbers to the regional office where the child lives. So when this form is completed, what happens is you would then fax this form to the office, the regional office where the child resides. So for example, if the child lives in Brooklyn, you would fax this completed form to the Brooklyn regional office. You do not get to fax it to anywhere else, maybe because the fax machine might be not, you may not be going through at the time. You fax it in the regional office at where the child resides, in the borough where the child resides. Now, if you are making a referral for DM, there's a number here that you're gonna use as well. And you're gonna fax it to this citywide developmental monitoring office line here. Now, this suspected referral reasons, or the primary reason for referral. So we will talk about the 5 functional areas of development in a child, but you would select what area the child might have a delay in. And it could be 1 or 2 or even 3 areas or more. And if you know of the child's diagnosis, if the child do have a diagnosis, you want to indicate it here as well, or any concerns that you want us to know. And that is for the child that is going to be referred for early intervention. And if the child is being referred for developmental monitoring, you also want to put the referral reason. And one of those reasons could be a child with a low birth weight of less than 1,500 grams or less than 4 pounds, or a child who has stayed 10 days or more in the intensive care unit. And we will talk a little bit more about the factors in the other slide. Then you want to let us know who's the child's doctor, the doctor's phone number. However, this bit of information can be left out at this point, because when they get further into the program, at the service coordination stage, they can also find that they will be able to acquire that information. And then you have the parent consent to share or release information. Now, by a parent signing this form at the bottom here and dating it, it gives EI, early intervention, permission to share information with other authorities that may help with the child's receiving services. So for example, it could be the child's doctor, it could be the insurance agent, it could be the caseworker, or anyone else. At this point, Adia, let me just stop. I know there was a lot of information being shared here, but it's important to understand there's some particular details that needed to be specified. So are there any questions around this referral form before I move on?
I have a question. How does race impact the referral form? You mentioned it has a huge impact.
Yeah, so what we know is that the state required us to, as it's out of our jurisdiction. However, this question always comes up, and the answer will be that the state wants to know what category in terms of race of the population is actually being referred into EI. So essentially, that is one of the reasons. There might be more reasons that I do not know of, but that was what was indicated to us.
Is the form rejected if that isn't completed?
If the form, yes, that will be a yes. If the race is not included, that is going to hold back the process. It is mandated, and this is not something that we have any control over at the city level.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? Okay, if there are no other questions, we just move straight on. Okay, so we talked about referrals being done using the referral form, but there are other ways of making referral. And one, you can call directly to the regional office where the child resides. And here are the numbers on the screen. Now, when you call this number, you can leave a message and a staff member will get back to you within 24 hours. You want to leave a message, who you are, contact number. You don't necessarily have to name the child or the condition, but you just let them know that you're interested in making a referral, and they are going to get back to you in no more than 48 hours. Typically, it's done they get back to you very quickly in 24 hours. All right, and I'm going to provide all of this information in the chat at the end of the presentation. So developmental monitoring, what is it? We talked about it briefly. What developmental monitoring program really monitors and provides ongoing developmental screening, as mentioned before, for infants at risk and toddlers at risk of developmental delays, and that those delays, risk factors could be because of medical reasons, biological reasons, social or environmental factors. So 0 to 3, 2012, according to evidence-based research or report, found that 1 out of 7 children in the United States have a developmental delay or behavioral problem, but only 50% were identified before they started school. So therefore, it's important to really pay attention to, children that may be very typical, but maybe of some of the risk factors that they have been experiencing or had experienced to benefit from this program as a provider. All right, so we're going to talk about what those risk factors look like, as mentioned before. So we did mention a child who has failed a missed or newborn hearing screen, children who have been exposed to high lead levels in the home, and there are a lot of evidence out there, scientific evidence to show that children who are exposed to high lead levels can in fact experience cognitive delays. Children who have experienced social issues, as mentioned before, as born to parents who are substance users, children who have experienced neglect or homelessness are three of the factors that fall into the social category. And then, of course, medically, children who have stayed 10 days or more in the NICU unit for whatever reason. It could be jaundice, it could be many other reasons. It could be an infection, whatever it is. These children should be referred to developmental monitoring and will benefit from this service. Of course, children who are born to parents with no prenatal care, for example, teenage pregnant women, you find that a lot. Sometimes they do not have the prenatal care that they are expected to have, and this could impact the child's development as well. And then, of course, more common situations are children born with low birth weights. Those are children under 4 pounds or premature babies less than 33 weeks old. Can all benefit from developmental monitoring. So let's take a look at what exactly developmental monitoring looks like. So referral is made. This is an example, however, for a child that is 4 months old, and the referral is made into the regional office for developmental monitoring, and the EI specialist then sends out an ages and stages questionnaire to the family at different intervals. And this occurs, it's continuous. All right, so you would see at 4 months, an ages and stages questionnaire was sent out by mail. Then at 6 months, then at 12 months, 18 months, and it's a continuous flow of emails going to the DM specialist, who then scores. Let me go back a little bit because there's an animation here that I wanted to show, and I'm not seeing it coming here. I don't know why. But anyway, the ASQs are scored by the DM specialist, and if there are anything that is significant or there's a significant change in the child's development, the staff member will then reach out to the parent and will discuss it with the parent. And this screening is also done via the telephone as well, or the phone or the cell phone as well. So they would tell the family if there anything significant that they need to be, they see some concerns or delays in specific areas. And then the parent is going to, depending on what it is, the parent is going to ask by the DM specialist if they would like the child to be referred for an evaluation. So then the evaluation is done, and this goes to the regional office, and an initial service coordinator is assigned, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And of course, this doesn't happen unless, and we can't stress this enough, it cannot happen unless a parent consents. So the DM specialist will have that conversation with the family, and once that family agrees, that child will be referred to the EI part of the program for an evaluation. So here are the steps of the early intervention process. So it's 5 steps essentially. So we have 1, the referral. The referral is made, of course, as we mentioned, by calling in or using the referral form. And then we have the service coordination phase, the evaluation phase, which really determines eligibility into the program, and the individualized family service plan meeting, which determines the services, and last but not least, transition out of the program. So initial service coordination. This is a very important rudimentary part of the program. So the referral comes from the DM, from DM, or goes to the regional office for a child who has a suspected delay. And the regional office then assigns an initial service coordinator. And this person is very important. He or she is assigned to really hold the family's hand through the entire process. So what they would do is explain the program and the process to the family. They will help the family choose an EI evaluation service that will assess the child for the eligibility for EI and help the family through the entire next steps after the program, because as you know, there's a lot of steps in between. Now, the service coordinator works with the family to ensure that the family truly understands what is going on and really to give the family support. And then the next stage is the evaluation. So the ISC will arranged it for the evaluation to take place, and it is bilingual when appropriate. It is a multidisciplinary evaluation. So not just one professional looks at the child and makes a decision or evaluates the child. It's multidisciplinary, where all the 5 areas of development, which you would see on the screen, the physical area, the physical development area, the cognitive, the communication, the social, emotional, the adaptive skills areas are looked at and assessed. And we also assess transportation needs as well. So evaluation takes place in a child's natural environment, and that natural environment could include the play park, it could be the childcare setting, the library, the supermarket. But let's step back a bit and talk a little bit about the 5 areas of development. So for the benefits of those who may not remember or who do not know, the physical area development not only includes vision and screening, but it deals with how the child, movement of the child, the use of the fine and gross motor skills, the big muscles and the small muscles. And then we have the cognitive area. How is that child processing, understanding, communication? How are they relating to others? How are they communicating verbally? Social environment, are they expressing themselves, their affection? For example, you extend your hand, or mom extends their arms to hug a child, and the child embraces, or do not embrace. Do that child run in another direction? When the mom or the dad leaves the room, would that child go after looking for that parent? Okay, so some of these, this is a social, how they interact with their peers, their siblings, and adaptive skills. So this relates to self-help skills, such as feeding themselves, dressing themselves. Are they trying to put on their shoes, or in some cases take off their shoes? If you indicate that here there's a jacket to be put on, you lead the arm in the sleeve of the jacket. Are they trying to help themselves by moving their other arm? Things like that. That will be self-help skills. So all of these skills are evaluated and assessed in the early intervention program. Okay, eligible versus not eligible. So for children not eligible after the evaluation for early intervention services, parents do have two options. And one, it will be closing the child's EI case or referring the child to developmental monitoring. So when a child is found eligible for EI, an IFSP meeting or an individualized family service plan will be created for the child. So if a child was evaluated and found not to have any significant delays and therefore does not meet the criteria for the program, but the parent is still concerned, parents have an option to refer the child to developmental monitoring, and parents should ask the evaluator to review the results and to discuss options and to discuss whatever concerns they may have. Also, the parents can ask the evaluator if they can recommend some activities targeted to the child's milestones. And the ISC can also recommend other resources such as child development services. So essentially, EI do not just leave children, hanging. If the child is not eligible for EI services, we provide information that could help the child get some sort of services that would meet their child needs. And if the child more so is not eligible for services for any reason, EI would then refer the child or suggest that the parents be referred to the developmental monitoring so that we can monitor the child's development. So the IFSP meeting, so this is a very important part of the program. As stated before, when a child is found eligible for the program, a service plan is created at this IFSP meeting, or this is individualized family service plan meeting. So this service plan consists of a meeting where the parents, the DOH, a DOH representative is present, and an early intervention official designee called the EIOD is there, a representative from the evaluation team, the initial service coordinator, and anyone that the family would like to attend the meeting. And that could be the grandparents or maybe the best friend, the godmother, childcare teacher, etc. So it is at this meeting, the IFSP team will then consider with the parents any concerns, talk to parents about what your concerns are, what the priorities are, what your resources are. And the results of the evaluation will be discussed to develop the functional outcome for the child and family for the next 6 months. Now it is at this IFSP meeting as well. It is authorized by the parent and the EIOD what services, how often, where these services are going to take place for the child. So they're going to review the information gathered about the child, and the multidisciplinary team is going to discuss with the families what their concerns are. For example, a child may have a delay in 2 of the functional areas, for example, speech or unable to walk or not saying a lot of words. And they would then discuss with the family what areas you would want to address first. And that will be an ongoing dialogue where a feedback loop is created. The family will then say, maybe the father might say he wants the child's speech addressed, and maybe the mother might indicate that she wants the child to be walking. Whatever it is, it's a continuous dialogue that is taking place. And in this program, I must say that the family has a lot of rights. Okay, so families are important, and their partners' concerns, any concerns that they have is very important to us. So the IFSC will also discuss with the families, and at this IFSP meeting, not only the ISC, but the team of individuals will then discuss the roles and the involvement of the family members, and that's going to be discussed in detail. They're going to explain who are going to provide the services again, and where these services going to be provided. Are they going to be provided in the childcare setting? Are they going to be provided in the baby mommy's home or the daddy's home, or whoever's the grandparents' home, or what have you? And how often it's going to happen? And it is at this IFSP meeting an ongoing service coordinator is going to be appointed. So you first have the initial service coordinator who's going to be assigned to the family to hold their family's hand, to really initiate the families through the process at the beginning, and then we appoint an ongoing service coordinator. Now, an ongoing service coordinator cannot be changed. However, an initial service coordinator can be changed. So if a family, for whatever reason, is unhappy with their initial service coordinator, they can get on to us at the regional offices and talk to the director, talk to the assistant director at the regional offices and indicate that they would like a change. Now, what services do we provide? So on this slide, you would see some of the type of services that are provided by EI. And here they are: special instructions, for example, physical therapists that you would have seen on the video, occupational therapy, speech therapy, social work, assistive technology, respite services, family training, service coordination, evaluation, and counseling. And these services are all provided by qualified individuals who are licensed and certified. For example, of course, special instructions, it will be by the early childhood special educator. And the last phase of the program, of course, is transitioning. So around the time a child turns 2, families and the EI team will start working on a transition plan for the family's next steps after leaving EI. And a transition plan is developed for all children leaving or aging out of EI. Now, the plan may include applying to the Department of Education Committee for Preschool Special Education, called CPSE. And children will need, in that instance, if that is the case, children will need to be evaluated by the DOE CPSE to determine if they're eligible for CPSE services. However, it's important to know that in CPSE, there are no service coordinators assigned to families. And so in this example here, we will talk a little bit more about that, but just to mention that EI services will end the day before the child's 3rd birthday, unless the child is found eligible for CPSE. So here's an example that I just, I'm going to show right now. So for example, a child that is born in the early part of the year, from January to August, and has a date of birth of March 16th, again, EI services will end or stop the day before, which is the 15th, of course. And if that child is eligible for CPSE services out of DOE, then EI services will end or continue till August the 31st. Okay, so there's a smooth transition from one agency to the next and the services that are provided. So here's another example for a child who's born later on in the year, between September and December. EI services will end the day before the child's birthday, which will be the 9th. Of course, his birthday or he or she's birthday is the 10th of November. If that child is eligible for CPSE services out of the Department of Education, EI services will continue till December the 31st. Essentially, there are 2 times of the year that EI services, a child ages out of EI services, and that will be in August or December. Are there any questions around transition? Okay, if a child is not eligible for services under the DOE CPSE, the service coordinator can assist parents in identifying and accessing other early childhood services, and parents can also explore with other DOE options such as the 3K programs, the Head Start, the childcare programs in their communities. And the plan will include these services and next steps to help these parents get these services as well. So the services that the child received in EI, the child can also receive those services in CPSE. And of course, just for information and throughout the entire educational pursuit. So that is why early help matters. So according to 0 to 3, 1 in 3 infants and toddlers who receive EI services did not need service special education later in preschool, and intervention is more effective and less costly when it is provided earlier rather than later. And that is why it's important to make an early referral or to encourage an early referral into EI by providers like yourselves. So we're going to just complete the presentation for today by talking about how you can support referrals into EI for the children who that you may identify, or the families that may have children that can benefit from the early intervention program. So one, you want to educate your key staff about the early intervention program and the developmental monitoring unit and what you do. And one of the ways of doing that is you can always call us. You can also email us. I'm going to give you an email address that you can email us and request a training for your staff. Okay, it could be orientations as well. We do trainings at orientation of staff as well. And we will make ourselves available to provide these educational trainings. You want to promote the early intervention program in visible areas throughout the organization. For example, we will provide brochures, and you can put your brochures up between the waiting rooms. We have other resources such as videos. You can also play EI videos. You can loop them and play them in the waiting room if you have families as well. These are just ideas that we can suggest. You want to make referrals part of your initial conversation with families and talk to them about why referral to early intervention or developmental monitoring is important. And from the start to the end of this program, you would see all the benefits of children, the importance of children being referred into EI. So you want to have that initial conversation with families. And for some people, they may ask, how do we start this conversation? Okay, how do you start this conversation? We do have brochures, and there's a brochure called Early Help Makes a Difference, and I'm going to provide that brochure electronically to you. It allows you to have a conversation with the families because it gives the child's milestone development, and it allows families to do a quick assessment and to see what their child is doing at each level of growth. And a child may not be achieving some of these milestone developments, and this is a conversation piece. Then you can tell your families which they would have seen themselves, because they are the ones that are assessing this child based on this brochure, and they can say, okay, this is a good time maybe to refer your child for an evaluation, as the case might be. You also want to let parents know or families know that this program is highly confidential, and we do not share information with anyone. We do not discuss, we don't have conversations with immigration. And you want to really make families know that even undocumented families can receive services without any penalty. For any kind of penalty, they can be referred into the program, and the child, once eligible, will receive services. So these are conversations you can have. You want to identify the ways the family can, the staff can follow up on referrals. So once referrals are made into the program, particularly if it's developmental monitoring or early intervention, you want to probably remind families to complete the ages and stages questionnaire, which they would have received via the mail, or have to make a phone call. Just call into the DM office and someone, or the unit, and someone will get back onto them, the DM specialist, and do the ages and stages questionnaire at their convenience over the phone. And so you can remind families as well, ask them to put the reminder in their phones, and you want to document in their files. If you have access to their files, you're working in a healthcare setting, you want to document that you made referrals and what you did, to make sure that you supported the family to help the referral and make it possible for the child. You want to also identify the items to measure when reviewing the chart, if you have the chart regarding the referral to developmental monitoring or EI. So identify the items to measure when reviewing the chart. So sometimes you may have you might need to ask specific questions, okay, when reviewing the chart, and you want to, talk about the timelines that involve. So you could talk to the family and say to the family, I see that at such and such a day, we spoke about, you know, making a referral into EI, what was said, what was the communication like, and you're just indicating that you're reminding them at this point, you know, or follow up with them and document, you know, that you are reminding them, and go through the benefits of the program and have that meaningful conversation with the family. You want to add a question about referral to EI if you have an intake form in your organization, and you want to provide brochures to the family. You want to access these brochures either online, which I'm going to share with you, or you can you can also email us at einow@health.nyc.gov. That's einow@health.nyc.gov, and I'm going to put it in the chat. I don't know, Cindy, you can put it in the chat for me. It's einow@health.nyc.gov, and let us know what your concerns are, if you want any resource materials, and we can make it possible. So we're coming down to the end of the presentation. We do have a survey as well that I am also going to provide you all, that we're asking that you do let us know your feedback about the presentation, so that we can better meet the needs of not only our participants, but also essentially the populations that we serve and these children who will benefit from EI. So we're going to put that survey in the chat at the end of the presentation. So on behalf of the Early Intervention Program, we want to thank you again for your time. We also, this is the EI Now outreach email that you can use at health.nyc. I don't know if it's in the chat, but it's on the screen. And then we also have professional development opportunities for quality initiatives. You can visit or email embeddedcoaching@health.nyc.gov for an opportunity for professional development, if you want to learn more about quality initiatives. So please contact us. So we want to say thank you and have the rest of a great rest of the evening. And it was all my pleasure. Any questions at this time? Any comments? Any concerns? We're taking it at this time.
Vanessa, thank you for everything that you shared. Does anyone have any questions for Vanessa?
I see a raised hand, Karen.
Yes, Karen, do you have a question?
Yes, hi, good afternoon. If you are a parent and you are, thank you for this whole presentation. I didn't even know the service really existed. I was just speaking to a parent who knows something is not right with her child, even though she takes her child to the physician. Like, what is her natural next step? Should she call 311? Are you saying that I should do a referral for her? I'm trying to.
Okay, thank you for that question, Karen. So there are three ways you can make a referral, and we just talked about it, but in this instance, since the parent had a conversation with you, and if you can talk to that family, it's all about relationship. If you have a close relationship or close enough relationship with that family, you can tell that, you can indicate to the family that you're making a referral on her behalf. Okay, that is one. The parent do not have to wait for their pediatrician or their doctor to make a referral. That is the benefit of this, one of the pluses to this program. You can self-refer. The parent can in fact self-refer by either calling the regional office in the area where the child resides, okay, and making that referral. And the last but not least, I think is the least option in my view, and is calling 311 and asking for early intervention. So for that family, it could be you making referral once you had that initial conversation with the parent, or they can self-refer, or they can wait for their doctor. But we do not suggest that, because children, they age out very quickly. Children become in a twinkle of an eye. Child that was just born, twinkle of an eye, they're 3, a toddler. So you don't want to wait. You don't even have to wait for a child to show symptoms or signs that they may be late. They just have to suspect, right, that the child may have a delay. I hope I answered that question, Karen.
You did, and you said you're going to put like the referral or the links, or
yeah, I'm going to put. I'm gonna put a referral form. I'm gonna put a referral form so you can have a copy of the referral form that you could download. Or you could just call directly, as I said, call the regional office and make a referral. And the questions that they're going to ask you in the regional office is pretty much the questions that you are going to have to provide them when they do return your call at the regional office. So I'm gonna put a link, yes, to the referral form.
So Vanessa, I know that someone did put in the chat how much they enjoyed the video, so thank you for that. I also see that someone shared that her son benefited from the program.
Oh, wow.
So thank you.
Okay, and I'm going to provide the videos and the brochures as well, so that they can have that and they can play. I'm going to do the public health action kit. I'm going to place that in the chat, and in that public health action kit, not only would you get the brochures, but you're going to get 6 videos. And those 6 videos, just to mention, one shows the progress of a pastor. He received EI. It just shows how faith-based can support EI. This individual did receive EI and is now a pastor. Then there's one on insurance and how insurance can be used in the program. And then there's another one, how the childcare teacher supports the family. And they're very, very interesting and informative videos. And I'm also going to put that in the chat. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And thank you for all the comments in the chat. I'm not seeing the chat right now, but thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, if there are no more questions for Vanessa, we're going to continue with our agenda. Okay. So now we're going to transition, and I'm going to be sharing my screen so that you can all see our website, and I'm just going to walk everyone through that. So just give me a minute to set that up.
I failed to mention one thing, Mecca, before I go. We do have a parent presentation. It's online. It continues for the next 2 months. It's 2 days a week. During the week, it starts from 6:30 to 7:30. And then we have one on Saturdays. It's at 6 p.m. or 11 a.m. in the morning. It is for free. It is free. It is online. It's really tailored to meet, to answer parents' questions and to meet the needs. It starts with talking about misinformation, guilt, denial, how parents would feel on an emotional level, and then it ends with a frequent asked questions, and then it's delivered by certified licensed personnel who they can unmute their mics and pose any questions to the team that is presenting. So I'm going to also provide the flyers for you as well, Lameka, if you can distribute it to all our participants today. Thank you.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much. Okay, so can everyone see our website on the screen? Yes? Okay, I see Karen nodding her head. Thank you. Okay, everyone. So this is the East Flatbush Community Partnerships website. You can access it by just typing in eastflatbushpartnership.org. This is the About page. It just shares our mission and vision. You see that here, as well as a quote from Congresswoman Yvette D. Clarke. We also have our team page where you can connect with our staff. And I want to give everyone a heads up that we do have a new administrative assistant that's going to be joining us on March 6th. Her name is Edlyn, so we'll be adding her picture to that page as well. We have a calendar of events, and not all events are listed here. I'll just be very honest with you all. I just put up as many as I could with the time I had. But this is one of the things that Edlyn will be doing, is that when we have events that you all share with us, we're going to make sure that we include them. So for example, this is a past event that happened on the 15th. When you click into it, you can actually see the flyer. And then when people want to register, I don't know how it's going to pan up now because events passed, but let's see. you can actually click on the link to register. All this is set up on the back end for us. So this leads you to Eventbrite where you could sign up there. Okay. So that is the events page. And then we have a page dedicated to residents where they can click on to get connected with services. Regardless of which one they click on, it's going to lead them to one form. So let's just click on finances and career. That is going to lead to this form, which is a direct link to Unite NYC, which is the database that we use for referrals. The resident will type in their information, and it's very important that at this section right here where it says, are you making a referral on behalf of yourself or a resident? They're going to select no if they're making the referral. This is a referral for themselves. So they'll click there, and then the rest of the questions change. At the bottom, they will sign. You can sign, you can actually write on it. And then they'll just press submit. And then one of our staff members will be notified of that referral request, and then we will follow up with them from there. Okay. They can also click on the Community Partnership Initiative just to see what we have going on. Okay. And we also have a parent corner, which just shares with them different events that are happening within the neighborhoods in plural, not just East Flatbush. And these sections are pulled from other websites, okay? So they change based on how the feed of the data comes in from the other websites. And then we also have a page with our community leaders listed here. We found it very important to put this in case residents want to connect with their elected officials. They can do that by reaching out to us, and we can connect them as well, and they can click on each one to visit their website directly. Okay. All right, so now I'm going over to service providers. This portion right here just speaks to the different ways that you can benefit in connecting with us. And I'm going to click on this one right here just to show you the form that you could fill out, and then you would pick which one you're interested in connecting with us about and submit, and then we'll get that and some more follow-up. I do want to make a note here that service providers are able to make referrals for residents as well. However, we are still working on this bottom section here. We need to get this changed because the service provider would not sign on behalf of the resident. So please don't use this part yet until you get the go to use it. But I still wanted to show you the website because it's been a just a long process to make sure it was ready to go. So that's just one thing we still need to get taken care of, and we'll do that as soon as we can. Okay, and the last one here is that people who are interested in volunteering with us are able to do that. They can click on how they want to volunteer and then submit. And of course, we also have a place where people can make a donation, but it's not working. So I got to speak to my people back in JCCA to figure out why that's not working. But the goal is that if people click on that link, that they will be linked back so that they can actually make a donation directly to our program. So I'll follow up with JCCA to let them know that that link has been broken, and we'll get that fixed back up. Okay. Are there any questions about the website? Okay. And of course, these are links to our social media. And that's it. Just wanted to share that.
There's one question.
Yes, Kai.
Tyrone asked if you have Councilmember Farrah Lewis on the page.
Let me go back and see. Yes, we do. I tried my best to make sure we didn't leave anyone else. So thank you for asking, Tyrone. Any other questions? Okay, so we're gonna pause now. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and now you all may provide program updates. So whoever would like to provide a program update, feel free, unmute yourself and you can share that.
Excuse me, Rebecca, can I jump in and say that Vanessa Burrell has asked everyone to complete the survey that she put in the chat?
Sure. Yes. Thank you, Diane.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tyrone McDonald from Neighborhood Housing Services of Brooklyn. Just two announcements. Next week, Tuesday, we're having our monthly home buying webinar. It's going to be in the afternoon. I will post a flyer in the chat, but it's going to be next week, Tuesday at 12 p.m. And we're just going to cover some of the basics of buying a home, getting a mortgage, credit, down payment assistance and grants, and so forth. Also, very importantly, on Thursday, March the 2nd, we are having a fire safety event. There's been a number of fires in the area throughout Brooklyn generally, which has been very disturbing. One in the area, the one on Snyder, led to loss of life of a 13-year-old. So we're going to have a fire safety event. We're inviting FDNY, Ready New York, the Red Cross, also an insurance person, just to talk about some safety tips. You should be practicing, some ways to mitigate your loss, how to prepare even beforehand as far as disaster preparedness regarding a fire. So I don't have any flyers, but I will post a link in the chat, and once flyers are available, I would share it with Cindy so she can get it to you all. Thank you, and over and out.
Thank you, Tyrone. Who else would like to share a program update? Okay, I see Luz. Luz, would you like to go?
Yes, thank you. So I posted on the chat that we're celebrating or acknowledging National Poison Prevention Week, which will take place during the week of March 19th through the 25th. During that week, we will be scheduling a series of webinars and outreach events that we will be sharing with all of you later on. For now, I can just talk about on Tuesday, the 21st, we are going to have a webinar about suicide prevention. And also on the 22nd, it's emerging trends in poison exposure. So I will be keeping everyone informed, especially the one on the 22nd. I would love for everyone on this webinar to join us, especially because it's for our community providers. So thank you, and I hope you can share the flyer that I have on the chat. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Luz. Charlene, would you like to share an update?
Sure. Tomorrow, hi everyone, I'm Charlene Gordon from the New York City Department of Health, and I represent the Education and Community Partnership Unit, which we are under the Bureau of Environmental Health. So tomorrow we have a webinar from 12 to 1:15. It is the FDNY CPR unit was going to do a hands-on virtual training. So if anyone wants to join, I put the link to our schedule and you can register. The link will be sent to you for you to join the session. Again, it's from 12 to 1:15. You'll have this webinar, and also too, you'll get some information about lead. Thank you all.
Thank you, Charlene. I see next, Ms. Brigman. Would you like to share an update?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. For everybody who wasn't here in the beginning, my name is Maya Brigman. I'm the coordinator of community outreach at New Directions Substance Use and Outpatient Program. April 21st, we'll be hosting another networking breakfast from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Our location is 300 Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11217. We're on Flatbush and 7th Avenue, which is like roughly 2 blocks from Barclays Center. If you have any questions, my information is in the chat, and I will also post this in the chat as well. There's going to be a lot of great connections there, and I'll greatly appreciate it for everyone to show up. And yeah, that's just about it.
Thank you. I see Adar. Would you like to present as well?
Yes, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adar Johnson. I'm the program director for Brooklyn Networks. Some updates regarding my program, just to let you guys know. I didn't write it in the group chat. I apologize, I was late. Brooklyn Networks is a training program that teaches New Yorkers the fundamental skills to work as cable technicians. So we offer the 30-hour OSHA, 10-hour SST, and Big C certifications for free as part of our program, as well as job placement assistance for up to 2 years. Our next cycle is starting on April 11, 2023. And then afterwards, it would be in June. So we are having some cycles come up. To apply for Brooklyn Networks is completely free. It's a free training. You would have to first attend the info session. We typically have info sessions on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and every other Thursday at 1 p.m. Our training does take place on a City Tech campus in downtown Brooklyn at 186 J Street. And yeah, just wanted to tell you guys about that information. I did share the flyer with Cindy, so it would be sent out to you guys. But if you would like my information, I'm going to put it in the group chat. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Venus, would you like to share?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Venus. I'm from the New York City Civilian Complaint Review Board. I am the Brooklyn Outreach Coordinator. We investigate, mediate, and prosecute against police misconduct. Our jurisdiction is excessive force, abuse of authority, discourtesy, and offensive language. I just wanted to share that recently this month, CCRB issued the 2020 George Floyd and Breonna Taylor protest report. This was a response and a data analysis of the police complaints that happened during that summer. For more information on like the types of complaints that they received, I will put that in the chat. And also this March, we'll be having our board meeting. It's happening in the Bronx, but you can sign on via WebEx. And this is just to talk about policing your communities, any questions, comments, or concerns that you want to bring up to the board. So I'll put that in the chat. And we have a Brooklyn board meeting coming up in May. So it's happening at Restoration Plaza. So for everyone that is interested, I will also put that in the chat as well. And I'm looking for any collaborations of outreach, workshops, presentations, tabling, partnering up to do something in the community. I will be very happy to partner with anybody. So yeah, and have a great day and happy almost Friday.
Thank you, Venus. Keisha, would you like to share?
Good evening, all. Hi, I'm Keisha Sidney. I'm with Sesame Flyers. I do community outreach for them, and I'm just happy to see you all here. Some of you guys I've seen last week at some of the other meetings. Hi, Venus. Just wanted to share with you guys, we are in SYEP mode. You know, just as a reminder, guys, you know, please let your participants know or your families know that the application form was dropped on the 13th of February. Just keep in mind, it is a lotto. But if you got to be in it in order to win it, right? You know, so, you know, just please, if your your kids are between the ages of 14 and 24, please have them sign up. We are also looking for business partners to sign up to be part of the program so we can have jobs to send kids to. For the summer, we'll be looking for spaces for 700 kids. So yesterday we did have our first open house for businesses that was interested. We had a few people show up. We're having one coming up on March 6th. I will send the flyer out to Cindy so they can place it in the newsletter so everybody will be able to see that. And I'll share that with you guys just with the new information. So if anybody's interested, you know, they can come on. It's virtual. So you can sign on, you know, to see if you guys want to participate. If you will past participants like Lamika, if you guys want to come back again, you know, we'll be welcoming you. Okay. And I did put my information in the chat. If you want, I can put it again. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Deidre, would you like to share?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deirdre Williams. I am the founder of Dear Diary Psychotherapy, and we're a therapy agency that's culturally responsive. We're primarily located in Bedside, but at this moment, we're accessible to all folks virtually. So we have 3 clinicians on staff who are available for seeing youth aged 12 to 18 and all adults. We do trauma-informed care, but we also do a lot of other approaches in working with people with different types of ailments, whether it be depression, job stress, anxiety, and so on and so forth. And so we're happy to learn more about, I dropped some information about our website in the chat, deardiarpsychotherapy.com. You can sign up for an intake appointment online for free. Okay, a 15-minute consultation as well at 201-455-7174. Thank you. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Thank you. Courtney, would you like to share?
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Courtney. I'm a social work intern at the Brooklyn Recovery Center. And I just wanted to share that we do have a new program that had developed last month, which is a women's empowerment group. So if you have any participants or clients that are looking for an environment, a safe space to come and meet other women, this is a great opportunity for them. I shared the flyer throughout the meeting, but I can reshare it again. And also, we are currently looking for volunteers. So I submitted a volunteer form in the chat as well, the link to the form. So if you guys have clients or participants that's looking to get involved in the Brooklyn community, you can feel free to direct them to that form or just go on our website, which is thebrooklynrecovery.org. And yes, thank you. You guys have a great day.
You too. Gabriella, would you like to share?
Yes, thank you so much. I'm Gabriela Torres. I'm from Bumblebee Saras. Well, this is the first time I basically joined this meeting. I was in touch with Cindy before. So we basically offer early childhood education for children ages 2 to 5. Our center is located on 2813 on Farragut Road. We accept and help families to get HRA, ACT, ACAs, SES, and all kind of vouchers for childcare assistance. And we also have the DOE 3K and pre-K programs. We want to invite the community for our next event on Tuesday next week. I'm gonna share the flyer on the chat. We have like a paint and sip night for parents that have children ages 2 to 4. And it's completely free. I'm gonna share the flyer now. And so you can share with your families, community, and everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to share an update? Okay.
I just want to add, please email the flyers that were placed in the chat. I think I got all of them, but they won't be downloaded once with the recording. So I don't want to lose any of them. So please email them to me, and I'll put my email in the chat so that we don't miss them. Thank you.
Okay. So we're gonna end things off for our meeting for today. Just want to share, as usual, that we are on Instagram and Facebook at East Flatbush Partnership. If you are not already, feel free to follow us there. Our next meeting is going to be on March 23rd, 3 to 5. We are planning to have our monthly meeting for April in person, so stay tuned for more details about that. And our catchment area is 11203, 11210, 11212, and 11226. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We appreciate you. And I'm just gonna leave this open for a few in case anyone wants to connect with anyone while we're here, but officially the meeting is over. So I'm going to stop the recording and you guys are free to leave or stay, whatever you choose. Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone.